What's up, Gales?
It's Erica.
And Geneva, and welcome back to episode 7
of
of Gale Talk.
On this episode, we decided to bring Aikus Chada, which may seem like a familiar face, as he's involved in ASG as the junior class president. He's a student ambassador. He's on varsity tennis. He's the vice president of the business club. He's involved in AAPI club, and he's also in speech and debate club.
So we decided to pick Aikus today because today we're going to be talking about positivity, because we feel like that's something that a lot of teenagers struggle with nowadays, especially with like social media and stuff. So you might have seen Aikus around. He's a pretty smiley, like positive guy. So yeah, that's what we brought him in to talk to about today, and we're so excited to get into the episode.
Okay guys, we're gonna go ahead and get started with Aikus. Also, we did move outside because our mics are dead. I did not charge them, so I'm sorry if like there's wind or any like background noise, but we thought it'd be vibey if we sat outside.
And it's nice because it's a pretty day out.
Yeah.
So okay, so Aikus, you're obviously a very smiley person, and I feel like, I mean, you're junior class president, yeah? Yeah. So I feel like that's part of the reason why you got elected. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons. If I wasn't like outgoing or trying to make people happy around me, just put myself out there, then I don't think I would have been known enough to be voted.
How do you think you describe your personality to someone who doesn't know you?
Me, I'd say I'm pretty outgoing. You know, one of my goals of the day is always to make one person smile. You know, like make someone happy, even if I'm down or something's happened, making someone else happy and just forgetting about that problem, you know, it allows me to keep going, you know, finish that day.
Awesome, good answer. Well, we chose you specifically because like we've known you for a while, and being a part of ASG, you're always such like a bright light everywhere. So I just wanted to ask, how have you always been like positive, or did something like happen to you where you just like had a mindset switch and you realized like maybe you should like look at life more positively?
No, I've always been pretty happy, but one thing that pushed that, like that encouraged that even more, like right before freshman year, I got injured pretty bad, so I was like pretty down. I wasn't able to play any sports or anything. I missed a lot of school, so I was mostly just recovering from us that time, and that recovery didn't happen the way I was supposed to. So a lot of extra complications came, but that one event, you know, it forced me to stay positive. You know, one thing like I do in my mindset, like one thing I ask myself, if there's a problem, I ask myself, do you have a solution? If it's yes, then why worry? If you don't have a solution, then why worry as well? And if there is no problem, then why worry? You know?
Yeah, I love that. Good answer. Okay, so obviously you've established you're a very positive person. You have kind of a unique mindset. So could you tell us a little bit how do you think your positivity affects the people around you?
I think my positivity, it spreads like, you know, it's like a snowball effect. It spreads like a virus. Like if I come in happy, if I make one person smile, then they'll be happy for a certain amount of time, and then they'll talk to another person. So it's like a snowball effect. So I try my best to be as happy as possible, because, you know, being happy is a good thing. And if you're sad, then that's not good.
Yeah,
Wow,
that's not
really
good.
that's totally not good.
Well,
You know, life is meant to be enjoyed, you know?
Yeah.
Might as well enjoy every single day that we're able to wake up.
But
Well-
I feel like you kind of need the sad times to maybe.
You need the sad times to build and recover. You know, not every day can be happy, but it's important, you know, to learn and grow from that sadness so that you can have that next day to be happy.
Well, when you do have like off days and like some days you're sad, what's something that you do to like kind of build you up and like help you?
Me, sometimes I just like either go into prayer or just listen to things about God, or just talk to God, or stay alone and just think about what could happen. But I feel like one of the best things is just not overthinking it and just trying to have fun and live in the moment. You know, when something wrong or something bad happens, it's over. You can't change it. Move on to the next thing. Like yesterday, I probably had one of the worst physics tests I've ever had in my entire life. I was really bummed out because it was an easy test, but then I was like, I had a tennis game next, so I was like, just focus on that. You know, you gotta find the silver lining in those moments. You know, you gotta learn how to move on and focus on one thing at a time. You can't let that one bad thing decide how you're gonna. It doesn't define you. You can't let it decide how the rest of your day is gonna go on.
Definitely.
I love that. Okay. So what advice would you give to other kids who want to be more positive?
Want to be more positive?
Or, like,
You know,
have, like,
first,
Yeah, like a doctor kind of mindset.
Yeah.
to be happier, the most important thing is to focus on yourself. You know, if you're constantly trying to be like others, compare yourself to others, trying to, you know, fit in, you're gonna end up being unhappy or sad. You know, the best thing is to be yourself, embrace yourself. You know, one thing a friend told me was comparison is a thief of joy. So if you
Very true.
constantly keep comparing yourself to others, you're gonna find that, oh, I'm not as good as them, I'm not as good as them. But if you focus on yourself and embrace those good qualities, then you'll always end up being happy. You know, like there's some bad things about me. I'm not perfect, and there's like other things that other people are better than me. But if I highlight those things that I'm good at, then it's gonna make me happy.
Yeah.
So you think it comes from like focusing on yourself?
Focusing on yourself, but also focusing on one thing at a time. You know, like because we're Bishop Gorman students, we have a lot of stress, a lot of things that need to be done. You know, everybody's trying to get into a good college, have a good life after college, but focusing on one thing at a time. Instead of focusing on those 10, 12 things that you know are coming down the pipeline, just focusing on one thing at a time, solving that thing first and then moving on to the next, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And then so you focus on you fix yourself, and then you focus on helping.
Yeah.
I kind of see it that way too, though, because I always say this, like, even in any other relationship, like, not necessarily personal, but you have to be, like, happy with yourself. I feel like,
Yeah.
like, if you, like, find out, like, your routine and, like, you're happy with being alone and, like, being by yourself, I feel like it's easier to, like, let those people around you, like, be with you, and you're less, like, likely to compare if you're, like, happy with yourself. But, like, how do you think people, like, stop comparing themselves? Because I feel like it's such a common thing, especially in high school and like us being girls. I don't know if you, as a guy, you go through the same thing. It's hard to kind of see someone's lifestyle and be like, well, I wish this and I wish this, and like trying to always please everyone. Like, how do you think people should avoid that?
Well, I think the best thing to avoid that is, first of all, not everything you see is what is true. You know, not everything you see like up front on Instagram, on social media is what's happening in the background. So first of all, you don't know what everybody's going through. Everybody's going through something different. So it's important to, first of all, put yourself in someone else's shoes and understand what they're going through if they're having a bad time. But in order to focus on yourself, you got to learn how to let go. You got to learn how to, you got to learn how to not worry and tell yourself, you know, it's okay. It's okay to, like, it's okay to not be with the cool kids. You know, it's okay to not, it's okay not to sit at like that lunch table with those people. You know, it's important to find your posse. You know, it's important to find that group of people that makes you happy, your people. Whether it's one person, 10 people, it's important to find those group of people that, you know, like you for you.
I love that.
Yeah.
Speaking facts. Well, this is just like kind of like a group question, because if you could spread one message about just like positivity and like a better lifestyle, what would you say to like the world?
That's a good question. Do you guys want to go first and then I'll go after?
I would literally, okay, this is actually, I've thought about this. I've thought about this.
Someone's excited. I literally.
Because it's like, okay, genuinely, this is always a question. They're like, well, if you were like had the world's attention for 5 minutes, what would you say? I think it's so important, like literally just be nice. Or just like common, I don't remember who I was talking to about this, but common like mannerism, if that makes sense, and like having like the ability to just be like, oh, hi, how are you? Like we've talked about this too, and just being like kind is such like, it gets you so far, I feel like. Because like, especially when you're doing such different things, and like in high school it's an important thing to learn, because then in the real world I feel like it like helps you like you can get a job easier. Like if you sit down and you're like you look very nice today, or just like something, I feel like it's important just to like be kind.
It's like if you never travel into that unknown, uncomfortable area, you'll never know what it holds. Like, you know, like how in Frozen, how she's like into the unknown. Like if she didn't go into the unknown, how would she have known what was there?
True,
you know,
exactly.
Like, and then she ended up benefiting from it.
Exactly, and I just like kindness is just such an important thing. Like the entire theme of this like talk is just to understand. Like I feel like it's so like cleansing for everyone if you just like switch your mindset and be more positive and looking at things differently in your life. You know.
Yeah, you know, it's important. Like, you know, like what's in the past is in the past. It can't be altered. We don't have time machines. Like, just move on and then focus on doing the next thing as well as you can.
Do you have an answer, Geneva?
So wait, what's the question?
If you could spread one message about, honestly, just anything, but I said positivity to the world, what would you say?
Okay, that's difficult to think about. Okay, well, I feel like right now, like kind of. You're gonna have to cut this out because it's gonna be a lot of stuttering.
Do you have an answer?
Yeah,
he's going.
That's why I asked you guys to go first. But I'd say the most important thing to be positive and continue to stay happy is to be humble.
Oh yeah.
Because anyone can have a good day, you know, but if you're like so overjoyed, you're jumping for joy, and then you're showing it out to everyone. It ruins that happiness, because I don't know, it just feels like you're trying so hard to show people that you're happy when you are happy. But it's important to keep it to yourself, and if you're humble, it allows for those happier events to come quicker. And even if you're sad, if you're humble, nobody can tell if you're sad or happy, but if you are sad, you'll be able to grow from that and move on.
I get that. Being humble is a
love
good
that.
way to say that. Like, being just humble in general about everything. It really gets you far.
Yeah. You know, one smile a day keeps sadness away.
What are with all these like, what's it called? Like
References.
one-liners? Like, whoa.
I've been waiting for this moment for my entire life.
If you really think about it, the entire future's unknown. So we're always
That's
walking
true.
into the unknown.
We're always walking
God
to
has
the
a plan.
unknown. But if we constantly think about what that unknown holds, we won't be successful.
Good.
We got to think about what's happening right now, focusing on that.
I love that.
Do you still know
I
how to
think,
answer?
no. Okay, I think that I would say, I feel like now, like, teenagers are way harder on themselves than they ever were before. Like, I'll talk to my parents and they'll be like, wow, school was never this hard when I was in school. Or like,
That's
even like
stressful.
the deans, teachers, like, everyone knows like it was never this stressful. And then on top of that, we have like a phone where literally it's like the whole world on your hand.
That's true.
And it's like you have to choose doing 50 questions of math homework over literally the entire world at your fingertips. So it's like, I think if I could say one message to the world, it would be like, just don't be too hard on yourself. Like, we're all going through this, like, it's all difficult, like, life is hard. But if you want to be successful, you just have to push yourself for the goals that you want to achieve.
I think with
I
that,
like that.
yeah, I think with that's important to also understand that anything can be good as long as it's in the limit. You know, like you can be doing if you're on social media all the time, if you're in a limit, then it's good. You know, it allows you to get a break or a refresher. But if you're doing it for too long, it could like rot your brain and
Very
misdirect your focus. But like the same thing with the math questions. Instead of doing the 50 that you need to help your review, if you end up doing 200, you're gonna overwhelm yourself.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose focus, and you're overthinking everything. And when time comes to test, you're thinking about 100 things at once when you just need to think about that one problem.
Yeah, that's good. And like carrying on with both of that, like I feel like we overwhelm ourselves,
Yeah,
which is just like, how do you avoid that?
it's all in the mind. You know, you just gotta like filter everything out and think about that one thing at a time. You know, focusing on that one thing at a time.
Personally, okay, well, wait, you said like, how do you like balance it?
Like, or how do you not get to that point where you're like having like a panic attack because you're overwhelmed? Like, I feel like I constantly am like worrying about 10 things at once, but it's like,
Yeah,
It's the same.
it's
It's
like
like I'm
sometimes
either doing like
it's-
so much, or I'm so burnt out. I don't.
yeah, exactly. It's like, how do you? I feel like that's a hard thing to balance. It's like
It's hard.
having like.
you gotta try your
Yeah.
best to find that balance.
I think a routine is also helpful. Like when you have a routine, like I like having like a routine where it's like I go home, go to the gym, study, and then sleep. You know, like
Yeah.
and it's like helpful.
So you know, if you have that plan, also allows you to focus on the one thing, because you know, oh, I have this planned out. I know what's coming next, but I can focus on this. You know, if you don't plan, you plan to fail.
Oh my gosh.
Bro, what are these one-liners? Come on now.
So educated.
No,
It's
you
the
know,
unknown.
for real. You know, like,
Good.
Well, no, I agree.
And having
I
a
have-
plan and like being in control of it is like also something.
yeah,
like
you
that.
gotta make sure you're in the driver's seat. You can't be in the passenger seat. You can't have someone else driving your car.
Good.
You gotta be in the driver's seat.
Yes.
It's important to take
Let me
action.
put you guys on, okay?
Okay.
So I make like a schedule every day,
Yeah.
and it's like it got to the point where my schedules were just so rigorous that I would like overload myself because it was like, well, I have this much time, so I'm just gonna
Remember,
do something else.
everything
Yes,
is good in a
everything's
limit.
balanced. Yeah,
In a
exactly. So I started adding this like thing called happy habits, and I changed them out
I
every 2
like
weeks
that.
because it takes 2 weeks to make a habit. So
Oh.
it'll be things like for my 2 weeks, it'll be like make 5 people smile today, and then
Wow.
instead of always focusing on I have this much amount of homework when I get home, I have to do all this. It's like it's kind of lightens the mood. It's like okay, well I also have to make 5 people smile today, and then it's like seeing that person smile. It's
Yeah.
like
I really like
that sense
that.
of community kind of
It
brings you
motivates
back.
you too.
Yeah.
It brings you back. It grounds you.
Yeah,
instead
like being
of,
being at
constantly
school
up
is
in
not
your
only
stress.
about like learning your assignments. You know, you get those opportunities to be with your friends and you know make memories. You know, make yourself happy.
Yes.
You know, like I go home sometimes after school I eat a snack, but if I'm eating a snack, I'm focused on eating that snack to that fullest ability, because if you don't give that food its proper attention,
Sorry, bro.
it's not gonna feel the same way. Like if you eat your favorite meal but you're worried about 100 things, it's not gonna
It's not gonna,
hit
like,
the
the
same.
same effect.
It's
I
not gonna
know
have the same
you get
effect.
that.
So
Yeah,
like
yeah, I
get
focus
that.
on that one thing, enjoy the meal, and then worry about what's gonna happen.
Eat the snack.
Eat the
Eat
snack.
the snack.
Enjoy. You know,
Eat the snack.
You were meant to eat that snack, so enjoy it. You know.
I agree. That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Oh, guys.
I like that.
You know. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Geneva's gonna ask her final question, which I think is great.
It kind of closes out
ties
this
in.
episode. Yeah,
Yes.
it closes out this episode perfectly. So, at the end of every episode, we like to ask guests, what is one habit that you practice daily that makes your day better?
Practice daily. That makes your what better? Your day better.
Your day better.
Yes.
Day better. One habit. Say that one habit is no matter what, put a smile on your face. No matter what. Even if
Yes.
the morning may have been the worst day, when you open that door, when you open your garage, when you open your car door to get inside and come to school, put a smile on your face. That's one more day God gave you to keep on going. One more day to work on yourself and be the best version of yourself.
That was great. Yeah, that was
Aikus is
incredible.
preaching.
I think that was the best habit we've ever
That
had.
was a good answer. Aikus.
Yeah, that was great. That was really great.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on to our podcast. We really enjoyed this.
I've been waiting for this moment a long time.
Yeah, Aikus has waited
Very patiently.
very patiently since the start of the pod.
We're happy that we got to do this. So.
Long-awaited pod.
Yeah, long awaited.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.